Olá, eu sou o Neymar e você está assistindo FIFA Futebol.
This week, he's gunning for Champions League glory and the treble. Star of Barcelona and Brazil, Neymar.
The FIFA Under-20 World Cup is underway, and with the inside stories from the early stages in New Zealand.
And making his mark in the Chinese Super League, we're in Shanghai to catch up with Sven-Göran Eriksson.
.38 goals for the season. A league and cup winner. Named captain of Brazil. A Champions League final is only days away. Not bad for a 23-year-old just enjoying the game he loves.
Yeah, I'm on my game all day, the same all day. Took me a long time, but never put it no way. And I ain't hiding nothing, I ain't doing two pace. On my beat, flying kicks, kinda like I'm no way. Creating a fiasco, kinda like I'm hooray.
The Brazilian way of playing is all about dribbling, tricks, joy and art. I was born in Brazil, so as a person, I'm naturally that way.
Brazilian striker Neymar is nearing the end of his second season at Catalan giants Barcelona. But despite the success this campaign has brought, it's not always been an easy ride.
My first year here was one where I had to adapt, or at least try and analyse everything going on around me. I had to get to know the club and adapt to life outside of it. Everyone goes through those issues. I think that's normal. In my second year now, I'm enjoying it a lot more. I'm much more settled and happy in the city and at the club. And that's why things are going so well.
This season's La Liga title was the first trophy in what could become an historic treble.
We're a big club, and that's how it is at big clubs. It's all about titles and victories. And the best players are always those who like to win. And our team likes to win. We're going for 3 titles, and close to making history at Barcelona. And we're going to do everything to try and do that.
The beginning of Neymar's second season in Spain saw the arrival of Luis Suarez. Along with Lionel Messi, they formed an unstoppable South American trident, scoring well over 100 goals between them.
I think it's down to how close we are, the friendship we have both on and off the pitch. I think that sort of affinity ends up helping us on the pitch. Suarez is a striker who fights, scores, helps the defence, does everything for the benefit of the team. And Messi is a genius, the best in the world.
Like Messi for Argentina, Neymar is the captain of his country. He was chosen by new head coach Dunga to inspire Brazil after a disappointing World Cup.
I was surprised, but then very happy at the same time. It's a great responsibility, but then we know that we all have a lot of responsibility when we play for the national team. It's not just about wearing that shirt, the shirt that has so much history attached to it, but it's what we do when we're on the pitch too.
Turn the beat up.
This month's Copa America will be the first big test for Brazil's new captain.
The Copa America will be a very difficult tournament. I think it will be one of the toughest we've ever had. But we'll prepare in the right manner to try and win and become champions.
Before that, however, there's the small matter of the Champions League final in Berlin's Olympiastadion against Juventus.
Oh, they're a great team. We respect them a lot because of the players that they have and the quality that they've shown. And the fact, of course, that they've got to the final. No team gets to a final by chance. I think they're there because they deserve to be there, and we'll do everything we can to try and beat them. I'm really happy to be playing in my first Champions League final. I'm talking about myself here, not the team, but I can't wait for the day of the final to arrive. But until we get there, we'll make sure we prepare properly so that the team has everything in place to play a great game.
Can Neymar and his Brazilian magic help Barcelona defeat Juventus? Find out on June the 6th.
Who is your hero?
Robinho. I always loved Robinho ever since I was little, and I had the pleasure of playing alongside him, not just at Santos, but also with Brazil.
Which player, past or present, would you most like to play with?
I'm a big fan of Romario. He's someone I would have loved to have played with. Zidane too. I just got to play with Ronaldo once, in his very last game for Brazil, but I'd have loved to have played more with him. So I think those three are the main ones I'd have liked to have played alongside.
Who's the toughest defender you've ever faced?
It's hard to say. There are so many top defenders. Mascherano, Piqué, Thiago Silva, Sergio Ramos. He's a great centre-back. There's a lot.
Who's your best friend in football?
My best friend in football. Fortunately, I've made a lot of good friends. I had an amazing friendship with Ganzo at Santos. Then when he moved to a different club, we lost touch a little. These days, it's Dani Alves. Dani is one of my best mates.
What's the best goal you've ever scored?
I've already scored so many special goals that have been significant for my career, and I'll never forget any of them. But the one I'm going to choose as my best is the goal against Flamengo, the one that won me the FIFA Puskás Award.
The FIFA Under-20 World Cup kicked off at the North Harbour Stadium in Auckland. The host New Zealand were taking on Ukraine in the opening game, and the locals were determined to put on a show. Played in front of a sellout 25,000 crowd, it was an occasion to remember. The home side came closest to sealing the win, but the game ended in an entertaining 0-0 draw. More later as the tournament develops.
The Women's World Cup starts on June the 6th, and France are one of the favourites. Their coach is Philippe Bergerou, who spent most of his career managing at a high level in the men's game.
I was never really a candidate for this job, but the president of the French Federation asked if I wanted to be part of this exciting challenge. It was a surprise to me.
I'm really pleased he's with us. He's a great coach. He won the World Cup in '98 as an assistant coach. He managed PSG and Rennes in the French league, so we already knew his qualities. So for him to be coaching us is amazing.
In terms of preparation, there are a few subtle differences between coaching in the men's and women's game.
Les filles sont plus cérébrales.
I think the girls are more interested in the mental side of the game. We always question things to try and understand why we play like we do, or to look at the way we train. I think the men are less worried about this side of the sport and play without analysing as much. Girls are more focused on the psychology of the game.
He's a
calming influence, and you can see that he knows exactly what he's doing. He's relaxed, but when it comes to the match, he's very demanding. When something needs to be said, he will tell you.
In 2011, France were beaten by the USA in the semi-finals. 4 years later, they're ready to realise their full potential in Canada.
We're currently third in the FIFA rankings, but we haven't won anything yet. If the women's game in France is to progress, then the team need to start winning trophies.
The French seem to have a good balance. Young stars to watch, like Claire Lavoisier, who impressed at the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup last year. And at the helm, an experienced manager who could add another World Cup to his trophy cabinet.
I had the opportunity to win the 1998 FIFA World Cup as assistant coach of Aimé Jacquet. If we could win this title with the girls, I think it would be a wonderful experience and something really special for me.
Still to come, we catch up with the much-travelled Sven-Göran Eriksson.
And more from New Zealand, including Myanmar's first ever appearance in a FIFA tournament.
With more than 1.35 billion inhabitants, China is the most populated country on the planet. It's football crazy, and yet the men's game in China has not impressed in recent tournaments, with only one FIFA World Cup appearance back in 2002, where they failed to score a single goal. But things are changing, and one of the people involved in the cultural revolution is a very familiar figure.
The league is getting better and better, and football is growing.
Sven-Göran Eriksson took over at Shanghai SIPG at the end of 2014, having spent a successful year with another Chinese team, Guangzhou RNF. And life in China is proving a hit with the well-travelled Swede.
They have everything here in Shanghai, and it's a very international city. And Shanghai is big, it's 25 million people, and if you want to go out to eat, they have everything you can find. The only big problem is the language. I'm used to foreign languages, and I learned Spanish, Italian, of course. And I try with Chinese, but that's very, very complicated.
This is Eriksson's 15th professional managerial job since he coached Swedish club Degerfors in 1977.
I'm like a gypsy. I want to move every second, every third year. But I'm a lucky man. I've been working all over the world, and I had a very good football job. Someone not that good, but anyhow, I'm still here, and I'm happy. I'm happy in China, absolutely. The biggest job I had, of course, that was England. A tough job. First of all, I didn't believe first time they phoned me. I thought it was a joke. But when they offered me the job, I said to myself, I have to take that.
Eriksson's first taste of tournament football came at the 2002 FIFA World Cup in Japan and Korea. England made it to the quarter-finals, but a long-range free kick from Brazil's Ronaldinho eventually decided the match.
I asked him many times after that. And he always said, yeah, of course, Sven, I wanted to score from there, but I don't believe that. Maybe we should have done better 2004, but for sure 2006. I think no one were better than we at that time. So we could have reached a final. We didn't do that. We lost penalties again. I should have taken in a mental coach for penalties at that time. When I think about it, we should have done better. 2006, we could almost have won it, I think.
Eriksson had impressed England during 3.5 years with Lazio in Italy, where he guided the Roman club to only their second Scudetto.
If you win the league in Italy with a team which not is Milan, Juventus or Inter, then it's big, it's huge. I had a very good president. He spent a lot of money to buy players, and in 3.5 years we won 7 titles, so of course it was a happy time for me. I lived in Rome, in the center of Rome, and I was very popular, I would say. Very difficult to pay a lunch or a dinner in a restaurant.
Eriksson is seeking his 20th major honour in club football in Shanghai, and China is thinking big.
The president of the country said recently in a big interview we had that he wants China to qualify for the World Cup. He wants China to host the World Cup, and in his lifetime he wants China to win the World Cup. China will be a big nation in football within 10-15 years. I'm quite sure about that.
Sven-Göran Eriksson has coached some of the biggest names in the game, but who does he consider to be among the best?
Wow, best goalkeeper, probably Joe Hart. He was young when he came to Manchester City.
What a save by Hart!
He had Isaksson, the Swedish national team goalkeeper. In the club he was regular. After 3-4 games we chose Joe Hart. Since then his career has gone above the roof. I think he's the best. Many defenders. Who shall we take there? Rio Ferdinand, I think, had everything. He was quick, he was strong, good header, good technique, good with the ball. Huge, talented football player and a big career, of course. The best midfielder I ever had was Roberto Falcao. I had him in Roma, a Brazilian guy. But this is middle of 80s, so it's a long time ago. But I never had a football player who was that important for his team, as he was the coach on the pitch. And if he was not on the pitch, we couldn't play football at that time. Rooney is one of them, of course. Ruud Gullit, another one. I had Salas. I had Drogba. I don't know who's the best, but I've been lucky to have a lot of good football players.
The USA finished runners-up at the last FIFA Women's World Cup in 2011. Part of that painful experience was Ali Krieger, who now has a second chance to claim the biggest prize. Now with Washington Spirit, she's had an eventful career. Krieger moved to FFC Frankfurt 8 years ago.
When I first arrived in Germany, everything was totally different. The culture, the people, the place, the language. I was kind of in shock. I think that's what you want in your life. You want to be challenged. You want to be better, not only as a player, but as a person. And I think that's more of why I loved it so much.
Krieger played every minute at the last World Cup, including a quarter-final against Brazil that went to penalties.
That game was probably one of the best games in my career. Our goalkeeper coach had told us, okay, you're taking 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's like, in Krieger, you're 5. I just placed it down. I didn't even look at the keeper, and I just went for it. I feel like I hit it with my purse, so I wasn't sure if it was gonna trickle and she was just gonna jog and stop it with her foot, or because it just was like, I was like, oh God, you know, thinking, please make it. But good thing it was far enough into the corner that she, you know, couldn't reach it. It was unbelievable.
A 3-1 win against France in the semi-finals set up a World Cup final with Japan.
We haven't stopped thinking about that moment for the past 4 years because we were that close. Going into the overtime period and going into the PK period. I was number 5 again, but unfortunately we didn't get that far. No matter why we lost, we were still happy because we knew we played the best we could.
And then there was heartache. During qualifying in 2012, she suffered a serious knee injury and missed the London Olympics.
Going through my injury in 2012 was probably one of the most difficult moments in my career. All of a sudden, everything just hit pause. A girl came in when we played Dominican Republic and just took me out from the side. I still haven't seen the footage because I just refused because it was pretty bad. I had to then kind of adjust my attitude to just get back on my feet, not even think about football at that time. So it was a struggle for me. It was very difficult.
It's been a long road to recovery, but now Ali Krieger can set her sights on glory for the USA. And she has a warning for their opponents.
You're going to see a determined, motivated, focused USA squad. We want to come home champions.
Now a look at some of the week's standout football stories in numbers. The 65th FIFA Congress was held in Zurich. FIFA President Joseph S. Blatter was re-elected for a 5th term of office. VfL Wolfsburg came from behind to beat Borussia Dortmund 3-1 and lift their first German DFB Cup. Arsenal became the most successful club in FA Cup history, outclassing Aston Villa at Wembley. It was the club's 12th win in the competition. PSG achieved a domestic quadruple, winning the Coupe de France, adding to their Ligue 1 title, Trophy de Champion and Coupe de la Ligue triumphs. Japan coach Vaid Halilodzic has named his 25-player squad for their 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifier against Singapore on June the 16th. And Mali was the first African team to pick up a win at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in New Zealand as they beat Mexico 2-0 on the second day of the tournament.
For some countries, the FIFA Under-20 World Cup is about results and trophies. But for the country of Myanmar, this tournament is about much more. They're creating history.
Nobody expected what we achieved. I don't have a hat, but if I would have a hat, I would raise this hat for the team.
The World Cup will be the biggest stage graced by any of Myanmar's players. A challenge their captain is relishing.
We're so proud to be here at a World Cup. This is the first time for Myanmar, and I'm so proud of this. We're going to try our best as a team to play well, but we also have to enjoy the tournament and be happy that we're here.
With their young stars playing on the global stage for the first time, they're not only attracting new fans back home, but also inspiring the next generation.
Myanmar booms. They are football crazy, positive football crazy.
This is not only for us players, but also for people back home. A chance to show our country to the world and to inspire the next generation of players to qualify for future tournaments.
I think you can hear from Myanmar in future.
Their World Cup expectations are realistic, but for the players, this could be just the chance to shock a few people in New Zealand.
I can't expect too much, as this is the first time for us. But we'll take each game as it comes, and hopefully we can make the last 16.
When I read the local press here, they expected us going home with 0 points. But that is for us double motivation to read that, because the team is not so bad.
We play as a team, not as individuals. If we played that way, we'd fail. So we have to be together and understand each other on the pitch. And we'll focus on this in every game.
Don't expect too much, but you can expect good football.
Their first game would be a tough test against the USA. But after just 9 minutes, Yang Nang-u shocked them, giving Myanmar a dream start. Unfortunately for them, it was short-lived. Aki Tall equalising less than 10 minutes later. And despite a brave effort from Myanmar, the US found an edge. Captain Emerson Hindman scoring what proved to be the winner on 56 minutes. But Gurdzis and Myanmar could be proud of their efforts.
Next week on FIFA Football, we're with head coach Dunga and his bright new Brazil, ahead of the Copa America.
And who will shine at the FIFA Women's World Cup in Canada? We're there for the big kick-off on June the 6th.